and they were astonished at his teaching as he spoke as one having authority and not like one of the scribes. Jesus comes along, and his hearers recognize that what he is saying and how he is saying it is different. It's not like the previous prophets, the previous scribes, and they notice it, and they're astonished. There's this sort of moment of realization. There's something very different here. The question is then, why is his authority different? In what way is it different? In what way does he exercise it different? See, the authority that he has comes not from power of coercion or power of strength or power over people, but his authority comes from within. It comes with gentleness. It comes with vulnerability and kindness. It comes with weakness, not strength. His authority comes with healing. And he comes with truth and with beauty. And in that is a great power. Ultimately, it is the power of love. And it is that love with which he is able to garner a following, not coercively, not in a demanding or shame-filled way, but in a love-filled way, one in which people naturally followed him. It's really quite powerful. And if you look at in our own lives, who do we give the most authority to in our own lives? Is those who we love, or those who love us. Primarily, our mothers and fathers is the first one which have authority over us, and which we continue to give authority to us, because their love is what we give to, and it is their love that power, that authority with which they command over our lives comes from love and truth and beauty. And when it's done well, it's spectacular, it's beautiful, because it lasts a lifetime, willingly, not one who wants to be coerced, but one who gives over willingly. So the question is, how does this work in our own lives? Well, let me just give you a working example. Yesterday, I did the funeral of an old-time friend of mine at my previous parish, and she was a towering figure in my own life, in a lot of ways like a mother to me at my previous parish. She died at a ripe old age, and at 93. It was wonderful, but she had authority and power over me, and I gave it to her because she was an incredible, towering figure of love, and not one that afraid to challenge my authority when I spoke and said things that she didn't agree with. Of one which she was willing to challenge me when the truth needed to be heard. But loving care that always knew that I was loved for, cared for. One that had a testimony, a power, a real power in my life. And that's the love. That's the authority with which God speaks to us. She, at the funeral yesterday, I spoke about, she had a favorite homily that I gave many, many years ago, and it was called a lamplighter, the homily. I always remember it. It was, and she came in with a little statue afterwards, a couple of days later, and it's called the lamplighter. It's a Yadra lamplighter. And she said, "I want you to have this." And I said, okay, that was a powerful homily, and I want you to continue to be a lamplighter in other people's lives. Of course, what she didn't know is that she was the lamplighter to me. So let me tell you this story. It's a little vignette of a story. He said, in years past, before we had electricity, the streets were lit with gas lights. And there has to be a person who went and light the gas lights throughout the city. Now, what most often is as sunset fell and the streets became dark, you didn't really see the lamp lighter, but you saw the string of light they left behind. And there was a trail of light everywhere they went, because as they lit, then the streets were lit up behind them. We are called to be lamplighters to others. That's the power or influence or authority, as the scripture says today, is that we seek to have over people's lives. The power of love. And so if we could seek to be people who act with that form of authority, then there will be a trail of light behind us. And for years, maybe even decades after we're gone, people will remember the light that we lit in their lives. We are called to be men and women of love, of gentleness, of kindness, of forgiveness, of healing, of truth and beauty. It requires of us to light a lamp of goodness, of love in people's lives. So let's seek to be lamplighters, ones that and leave a legacy and a trail of love behind us for all to see.